What's up with y'all? Welcome back to another reaction video. I'm Inde.
And I'm Ollie.
And today we got more Nick.
Crow?
Put some respect on his name, bro. What's the title of the video? Come on, Crowley.
YouTube's darkest videos 7.
I enjoy his videos are so goated. Like I enjoy his videos. Like the stuff that goes on is not good, but the quality, like the stuff that he puts me on, like a lot of these stories I've never heard before. So I'm like, wow. But really,
they're just really disturbing.
Always though, at the end of these videos, we're like, what the f did we just watch?
You kind of regret watching just a little bit.
It just kind of lowers our energy a little bit, but like, it's still good learning stuff like this, because I don't know, it's interesting, but it's bad, but it's still a story that needs to be told, because a lot of these are, some of these need justice. True. Some of these need justice. So yeah, I hope all y'all that's watching this video is taking care of yourselves. Let's get into the video.
It's December 4th, 2003.
I'm gonna go try to get them to stop doing that.
A police officer walking in a local park in Arlington, Virginia, is approached by a concerned family, claiming that someone in a nearby neighborhood had been shooting off a flare gun. The officer could hear it too, and following the sound, he eventually found himself at the home of 56-year-old James Yoo. The man lived alone in his half of this duplex, and was described by neighbors as a recluse known to exhibit unusual behavior. Across his social media, he made posts claiming that he was the victim of fraud at the hands of all sorts of government agencies, as he had a deep distrust of the US government as well as law enforcement, and he believed that numerous people were attempting to kill him, like his ex-wife, the FBI, and even his neighbors. His posts seemed entirely nonsensical, and so did many of his actions. In the months prior, he had covered up all of his windows with garbage bags and aluminum foil, and he even wrapped his trees in toilet paper. And though these
Talk to me.
We have a neighbor in this neighborhood that does that too.
Really?
I don't know. I showed you his house, remember?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he thinks he's being gang stalked, and there's a lot of rumors behind him, like he's a pedo or whatever, like me growing up.
That's crazy.
But he still lives here, and like his whole house, you've seen it, I showed you.
Yeah, I seen it. I was like, what the fuck?
His whole house is like boarded up like that.
Yeah.
And he rides his bike around sometimes, but when he rides his bike around, he wears like glasses and he covers his face and like.
Fuck, that is actually crazy.
But he's very friendly. Like anytime, I was a kid growing up. Anytime you see me, he goes, "Good morning." So it's kind of like, I don't know.
That's crazy. Some people just be paranoid, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if he's paranoid.
And I can understand how, because like when I'm alone in the house sometimes, I'll be thinking I'm hearing shit, bro, and I don't know, I'll be clutching, bro. Sometimes I'll be in here clutching, bro. I feel like I'd be like, damn, is somebody at the door? Like I'd be asleep, and I'd be like, wait, did I hear that? And I just sometimes you be pacing back and forth sometimes. So I can understand how like it go overboard.
I just chop it off to ghosts.
Ghosts.
Chop it up to ghosts.
Oh no.
I say chop it off.
When police arrived at his home, he would be seen firing his flare gun out of his window and into the air, over and over again. And despite repeated attempts to get him to stop,
Arlington County Police! Stop shooting the flares! Mr. Yoo!
That was a real gun, right?
He let up, shooting 41 flares in the span of just 25 minutes. And he did it all with no explanation. In fact, he didn't even say a single word.
Damn.
Understandably, police were eager to get Yoo out of his home for questioning, as at this point, it wasn't obvious whether or not he was a threat. And so, for hours and hours, they called out to him, first asking and then demanding that he exit his home.
This is giving me the weirdest vibe.
James.
Like, why is Christmas time too right now?
I know.
Come to the front door with your hands up. Do it now. We have your building surrounded.
But still, there was no response. Growing impatient and worried that Yoo might be planning something, the police would eventually bring in a specialized vehicle to bust down the door and spray the inside of the home with gas, all in an attempt to draw Yoo outside.
James, stay away from your front door. Stay away from your front door, James.
And in response, Yoo began firing once again. Only this time, he wasn't using flares.
Oh. This is crazy.
Damn, they just sitting there too.
And instead, he was now yielding an actual gun. Thankfully, none of these shots connected, but with the situation becoming increasingly dangerous, the officers decided to fall back, as they carefully came up with a new plan for apprehending Yoo. Though whatever they had been planning
Damn, imagine looking outside your window and seeing this.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. What?
Okay, I knew something crazy was gonna happen, but I didn't think the whole fucking house was gonna explode.
Dude, that is crazy.
What?
He killed other.
Second, the home was gone as a massive explosion rang out from inside the house, reducing
Holy
the entire
shit.
structure to rubble.
I'd be so
Inside the
scared if I
house,
lived
Yoo
in
had
that
stored
neighborhood.
55 gallons of gasoline in his basement, which he saved for that moment to ignite with no
Fucking
warning. and
neighbor.
no
So he killed other
explanation.
people too.
Based
I'm
on the
guessing.
footage, it's been theorized that Yoo's actions were an attempt to lure police into his home so that he could then set off this explosion and take
That's
them
what I'm
all
thinking.
out along with his neighbors.
That's
as
what I
he
was
genuinely
thinking.
believed that both parties were conspiring to kill him. Though
What?
somehow, when the smoke cleared, no civilians or police officers had so much as been injured.
Oh
All that
damn! I thought
found
he was in a
the rubble
duplex.
was the remnants of a single
No,
body.
that was just a house.
Though for a moment, this wasn't the end of James Yoo's story. Before that body could be identified, reports across social media began emerging showing that James Yoo was somehow still alive.
What?
After the blast, comments were being made on what appeared to be Yoo's YouTube channel, where he stated that this whole thing was a cover-up and that he wasn't even inside the home when the standoff started, which looking back, we never actually see him, and we also never hear his voice.
And whose hand
Numerous
and
posts
body?
pointing out this development would go viral and cause
Oh.
mass confusion about the story, which was only heightened when it was revealed that the body inside that building was in fact James Yoo.
Okay.
Though in the end, it wasn't really as mysterious as some originally thought. As it turns out, the post showing these comments failed to realize that this wasn't actually Yoo's account, and instead it had a completely different username, with the account likely having been created as nothing
okay.
more than a hoax. To this day though, there are some that still believe that this was all some sort of massive cover-up, but in reality it just seems that this was the result of a man gripped by crippling paranoia.
That's hella
and
crazy.
loneliness, with it all coming
That's
to a
crazy
head in
what
has gone on to
paranoia could do.
become one of YouTube's darkest videos.
One more thing about that story though, about the last one. It's crazy how he's still decorated for Christmas, so like that kind of shows like, damn, I don't know. Like
I don't know.
Like okay, basically what I'm
Yeah,
saying
you
is,
pointing out that detail is just
yeah, it's just crazy that like he's still decorated for Christmas.
like as if he's like participating.
Yeah, you get what I mean? And then
Yeah.
like that's fucking crazy.
He might have had like some type of personality disorder.
Yeah, of course. Like if,
Because how could you decorate for Christmas at the same time think you're being like gangsta?
yeah, I only pointed that out because it's crazy that like he's still in a Christmas spirit. I can get this tea. This tea hot, bro.
The internet is a dark and disturbing frontier. This year alone, countless people have fallen victim to high-profile data breaches, raising serious concern about personal information security. Ticketmaster experienced a breach compromising over 560 million of their customer records. But most alarming of all, the
This
National
ad,
Public
yep.
Data
Good
announced
ad. He
that
be putting these
two
ads like so
where a staggering
sneakily. And do
2.9
not say
billion
nothing.
records
Don't
were
say
leaked,
nothing.
Potentially impacting every
Don't say
single
who he look
American.
like.
And these leaks included critical personal information, such as full names, addresses,
All right, I
dates of
feel
birth,
every time I
phone
skip his ad, I
numbers,
feel bad. But like, what is this ad about? Cybersecurity. Make sure y'all security is secure and get the fucking Aura. Get Aura. Everybody get Aura. Yeah. In back room. Dreamspace.
Oh, I wish
There
I was
really
there.
nothing else
What's
like
that?
I don't know.
This obscure
Backrooms?
27,000 square foot structure allowed visitors to enter into what must have felt like another dimension. It was an exhibit called Dreamspace and was the creation of British artist Maurice Agus, a 74-year-old artistic visionary obsessed with the idea of creating large-scale surreal environments. And this was his magnum opus.
That looks
The
cool as
structure
fuck
was
though. He did his
inflatable,
thing.
akin to a massive bounce house. And once inside, guests were confronted with a labyrinth of
shit
brightly
looks
colored
cool.
walls and cells, twisting and turning
That
into
looks
some
hella
sort of
fun.
surreal maze that patrons were told to lose themselves in. This piece of art premiered back in 2004, and due to its inflatability, it was actually built to travel, making stops.
That's
in
actually
major
kind of
cities
scary
in the
though. Like,
UK
what if it
before
pops
was
with you
eventually set up
inside?
at
Yeah, if it pops and like Yo, that shit would be insane.
That's scary as fuck. You have no way of getting out unless you had a knife with you.
You'd just be suffocated to death. You guys
Oh my
know
God,
what the worst
stop.
thing is?
Don't tell me.
You know what the worst thing is growing up when you're in a bouncy house and that motherfucker just starts leaning and you're in the corner with everybody like that is actually terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. There's been like a few times where I thought I was gonna die.
But it's a canon event.
Yeah. That's
being
crazy.
in a bouncy house and getting yelled at because that shit going down because y'all playing too hard.
Bro,
it's just
I would
a canon
be
event.
in the corner suffocating, bro.
Really, I'd be the one. Whoa!
Old Elizabeth Collins would visit the area with her husband and her daughter, as well as her 14-year-old grandson. And spotting this unusual structure in the distance, Elizabeth's grandson insisted on checking it out, excitedly taking off his shoes and running inside. And while the rest of the group was more apprehensive about entering, Elizabeth eventually decided to accompany him, leaving her husband and daughter on the outside, though not before turning back to them and joking that she was going in to find peace and serenity. Outside, Elizabeth's husband and daughter sat at a nearby table and enjoyed a cup of tea whilst conversing about the events of the week, only for the man to turn his head and notice that Dreamspace was slightly moving, to which he excitedly said, "Oh, it's a ride, it's a ride. I wish I had gone on."
Oh my God.
The daughter then turned her head to see the structure as it began to rise up off the ground,
That-
to which she chillingly responded, "It's not a ride."
With them in it?
No way that motherfucker takes off. How? It takes
The
off.
wind?
That has to be the scariest shit ever.
Why wasn't it pinned to the ground?
But I don't know. I don't know.
Why was it not pinned? See, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean.
It was actually taking the fuck off. Wow.
Why was it not pinned to the oh my God, that looks insane. What the fuck?
Do you understand?
What?
I can't even imagine. Like, everybody's in there is like just fucking flying around. This is bad.
In that moment,
Why was it
Dreamspace had
not
snapped from its
pinned?
moorings and was blown into the air by a massive
It
gust of wind.
snapped?
Wait, it
Agus
got
just so
blown into the air by
happened to stay
what?
From its mooring. In that
It's in a
moment,
snap.
Dreamspace had snapped from its moorings and was blown into the air by a massive gust of wind. Agus just so happened to be standing at the entrance as it began to shift, and noticing what was happening, he grabbed on as he desperately tried to hold down his entire life's work.
How the fuck was
Though
he going?
clearly this was of no use, and after being lifted in the air, his grip failed, sending him falling back to the ground below where he lay staring up at his creation that was now flying 30 feet above him.
Damn.
You trying to grab that?
No, this is
crazy.
This is bad news bears.
Oh my God, the people running, they don't even know what to do.
Imagine the people inside, dude. They're
I
literally
know.
like flying everywhere.
Inside, there were as many as 30 people who were now being thrashed around this giant inflatable structure.
Oh my God,
in a scene
into
that
each
I truly
other.
can't even imagine. The claustrophobia of it, the dizzying colors, the screams. It's genuinely one of the most horrific scenarios I've ever heard. The inflatable structure was airborne for well over a minute, folding into itself before finally crashing back down into a parking lot,
And then
leaving behind what
popping?
was described by witnesses as a field of bodies. Worst of all, the majority of those in
What?
attendance were families with small children, with one 7-year-old girl recounting her experience,
Oh
saying,
no.
"It was very scary and people were screaming. I saw a lady clinging on and then falling out, and then she was lying on her back with people around her. I think she died."
Damn.
This lady was most likely
Oh, she fell
68-year-old
out.
Elizabeth Collins, who had been ejected from the structure when it was in the air, with her injuries being catastrophic and unsurvivable.
Wow.
Of all the others now sprawled throughout this field of grass, most were left injured but thankfully not in serious condition, though this wasn't the case for 38-year-old Claire Vermege, who had been inside during the accident with her 2 children, and despite her kids surviving, she was sadly not so lucky, with Claire and Elizabeth being the sole fatalities of the incident.
That's crazy.
What?
The video is
For just a minute
and it
in
was
the
easy
air
to
is
say that this
crazy.
could have been so much worse, considering how many people were in Dreamspace at the time. The consequences were still catastrophic, as it devastated 2 families and likely left many others at the scene traumatized for life, especially
Yes.
the young children. But how could this have happened? Well, that day was particularly warm, which likely caused the air inside the structure to expand, causing a hot air balloon-like effect, which was then exacerbated by sudden strong gusts of wind, which eventually caused the structure to go airborne, as in the end, it just wasn't properly secured for the conditions. Soon after the incident, Maurice Agus was arrested for manslaughter, though he would ultimately only end up paying a small fine, as he vowed to never create a large work again.
It's a small
Oh
fine.
my
Just a few
God.
years later, in 2009, Maurice Agus would pass away, with his legacy forever.
Bruh, I
being
think he
defined
felt hella
by this
bad, though.
devastating
Okay,
footage.
in my opinion, do I feel like he should have served like life in prison?
I think he could have at least did some time, but
I don't know. That's kind of.
it was
tricky.
honestly just bad planning. I think he should have got sued. But
It was bad planning. I'm just trying to think because we're thinking about it without loss. So if that was our mom, without like, it's still hard to even put myself in them shoes.
yeah, I think
but it's just like, damn, I don't know if he deserves prison or not.
I don't honestly, in my opinion, if somebody I loved was in there, I don't think I would be like, I don't think I would be hateful towards him. I would just think
Because
like,
it was his fault, but
it was his fault, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that the fucking sky would heat it up like a balloon.
Yeah, that's.
But I
crazy.
would just think it should have been more secure. So I would sue
Of course,
for money, but I
100%.
wouldn't want him to go to jail. But like, I would sue for money because, bitch, what the fuck?
That sucks. I feel bad for everybody involved too, because like that's seeing that as a kid is like, nigga, that's trauma for
being
life.
in there, all the kids in there.
They probably
That is so
now that
traumatizing.
probably like now they got like all those kids there probably have like a new fear. Like they're probably all traumatized of like fucking I don't
Any
know
jumpy balloons.
Yeah, all that is, like,
hot
out
air
of the-
balloons,
yeah, out of the
any
picture.
balloons at all.
right.
I'd be scared of any balloons. That's
Hell
like,
yeah, because that's crazy. But
damn. But to vow to never create again too. 'Cause
Also-
your creation got people killed. is
also
pretty,
I do feel bad for him also because of the fact that like he was doing what he loved to do, you know, that people enjoyed, and just to see that shit
go wrong like
and
that.
then people die because of you.
And the fact he like risked his life trying to stop it too is kind of
That's
like,
crazy. That's just
insane.
a bad situation, bro.
Yeah,
Hell no.
that's just sad.
On October 2nd, 2006, police entered the home of 31-year-old Elaine Campione, where inside they found the woman speaking incoherently. Next to her was a VHS camera, depicting a series of disturbing events that had transpired within the home over the previous months and days, with the footage eventually finding its way onto YouTube.
What?
Hi Serena, it's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you.
The tape starts with Elaine pointing her new camera at her daughter Serena. It was her 3rd birthday, and to celebrate, Elaine had left a brand new bike in the living room.
On?
What is it?
Days later, the footage continues, showing Serena once again as Elaine asks,
How does Mama love you?
This much.
Oh, I love you more than that. How much does Mama love you?
Elaine then shows her other daughter Sophia, who was just a baby, before turning the camera on herself and showing the kids how the device worked.
Hi! See how the camcorder works? Look.
Yeah, it's a virus.
Hi! Is that Mommy? Hi!
So far, the footage seems like nothing more than your standard family home videotape, and appears completely wholesome. Though with the next recording, the tone begins to shift, and things start to become slightly concerning.
I'm scared for
Please.
these babies.
Horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible mess. Yeah. I think Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins, the same as Leonardo.
As Elaine shows the camera her home, she begins joking about how they are living in deplorable conditions, before randomly calling out 2 men who she says she hopes burn in hell, all while her children are in the same room. She starts to grow more and more agitated.
All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and in the past year from Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse.
Outright saying that she was
Damn.
abused by a man named Leonard Campione, who happened to be her ex-husband and the father of these children. And she goes on from there, with each moment clearly making the kids more and more anxious.
And I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have charged him for the assaults he did to me.
Eventually causing Elaine to snap out of it and stop the camera.
And my poor 3-year-old, I did everything to protect. And what are you saying, Sophia? What do you want?
That's crazy.
The video then skips forward once
It's so
more,
scary.
with this footage being taken just days before the police were called, showing Serena coloring on the floor as Elaine asks,
Who loves ya?
Mommy.
Who loves you the most? That much? Oh, I think I love you more than that.
The scene that unfolds next was recorded on that very same night,
I'm
just
scared.
hours later.
Please don't. I know what's going. Please do not. Don't touch those babies.
Recording this because Leo and there, are you happy? Everything is gone.
No, the fuck she didn't.
You wouldn't give peace.
What
You
the
wouldn't
f-
tell the truth. You didn't care about our babies. You didn't care about me. You care about
No.
yourself.
That shit is
All you
sorry.
did was hurt us.
So she was trying to get his
Video
attention
states
by.
that everything is gone, as she
Get the
speaks to Leo directly, accusing him of having ruined their lives with his constant abuse.
You are truly the devil. And I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
What the fuck?
I hate you. I hate you. And
This
I want
is-
you to know how much I hate you.
Disturbingly, the
Bruh,
children
never
were nowhere to
ever
be
let
seen in this
somebody
footage,
get you this
with
fucked
Elaine
up.
eventually addressing them by
What?
saying,
God believes me. And God's taking care of us.
What?
You're protected by God. Thank
Bro, this is
God.
wild, bro.
Thank you. Because there's no way I could have them with you.
How does your brain even get this scrambled?
It'll always be your way. Well, they're good. And you can have it your way. Your wife and your daughters are dead now. We're all in
Oh, she
heaven.
curious. Oh, this is crazy as hell. Wow.
according to Elaine, not only were her children gone, but she was too, as she stops the recording soon after. Despite saying this, the camera would actually start up one more time, where Elaine describes how she was still alive, despite having attempted to OD, which prompted her to call the police.
Bro, what?
When officers arrived at the home, both Serena and Sophia were found laying in her mother's bed, holding hands, and wrapped tightly in rosaries. Neither of them were alive.
That is so fucked,
2
bro.
nights prior, and directly before filming this message, Elaine had brought them both into the bathroom, as it was time for their nightly baths.
No.
And once in the tub, she told them to play a game, one where they would place their heads beneath the water and blow out bubbles. When they did this, Elaine held their heads down, and she didn't let go until she was certain they were
Bruh.
gone.
This is sick as shit.
This footage is some of the most disturbing that I've ever seen, as we get a glimpse into Elaine's descent into madness.
She records
the moments
that?
directly before she stole
No,
her
I
children's
hope not.
lives. But all of this leaves one obvious question.
How would they know?
Why?
I don't know.
Well, it was noted during her investigation that the abuse she alleged from her ex-husband Leo seemed to be very real and well documented over the years, leading to Leo not being able to see his children for over a year, with this causing the two to separate, which is when Elaine's mind began to deteriorate.
Damn,
She
bro.
began believing that people were following her and were going to kill her, with this fear of people eventually shifting to a fear of aliens, as she claimed to have
What?
seen them on numerous occasions, believing they were following her. Because of this fear,
Sheesh.
she refused to let her children out of her sight, not even allowing her own parents to look after them, causing her to become so attached to these children that she genuinely began to believe that they were all one entity, which made things incredibly concerning when she became suicidal and eventually attempted to take her own life. Despite Leo's more than troubled history, he had supposedly turned his life around in the years leading to this footage, and was eventually allowed to start visiting the children on a limited capacity. And seeing the children and seeing the way their mother was behaving, he began to grow incredibly concerned, and eventually attempted to gain full custody. And it was this bitter custody battle that seemed to be the ultimate factor that led to Elaine ending the lives of her children.
God's taking care of them now. You're protected by God. Thank God. Thank you. Because there's no way I could have them with you.
Elaine Campione would be charged with 2 counts of murder and would eventually be sentenced to life in prison, with a possibility of parole after 25 years. Today, she's held in a minimum security prison, where she's free to leave once every weekend to attend church and other functions.
Why? What the fuck? Huh? They said she free to leave. For what?
I'm not understanding.
Wait a minute.
that.
Wait. They said she free to leave for why?
I have no idea.
They feel remorse for her? Yeah, like she lost her mind. That's fucked up. That's crazy.
But she took away those babies' lives, and they don't get a second chance.
They don't get
so
a
why
second-
does she?
Oh yeah, yo, that's crazy.
Not only one baby, but 2.
Ooh.
That's fucked up.
And
And
they said
then not only that, but the father, like, even though he did some bad things,
Yeah, he was abusive.
those are still his kids.
Yeah,
though.
that's
Fuck.
crazy as hell.
That's
Damn.
crazy.
So it just seems. I feel. those kids were like doomed low key from like the jump, because like her mind was gone. That motherfucker was scrambled eggs, and he was abusive. So like at that point, both of the options of those kids were terrible, bro. Yeah. They were better off like, I don't know. That's crazy.
As somebody who grew up with the schizophrenic mom, I'm just so. Me and my sisters always talk about how lucky we are. Like nothing like that ever happened to us.
100%.
Because our mom would say some crazy shit sometimes too. She would be like, "Oh, like don't you hear?" It was like a bottomless lake. She's like, "Don't you hear it calling me? I think it's calling me to jump in." And we'd be like, "No." Mind you, we're only like 5, 6, and 7 years old.
Holy fuck.
Bruh, and I have so many way more stories too, but I'm just glad nothing like that ever happened, because that's just so like, I don't know, they didn't even stand a fucking chance because they were just so little.
That's crazy, dude.
And then the way she killed them too, like, bro, that's just evil and sick. Like, I'm sorry, but she doesn't deserve to attend church after that.
Or she
could pray in herself.
They said functions too.
Other functions, like,
hell no, that was tough. I ain't gonna lie, that was crazy. Wow.
On April 18th, 2010,
he looks
a 39-year-old man named Gavin Collins was released from the HMP Ranby prison in the UK. His freedom would last less than 24 hours.
How's that?
As the very next day, he suffered a severe mental breakdown, the result of which was captured partially across several video recordings that later appeared on YouTube. This is the story of his rampage.
He looks nuts, bro.
He looked like that spider dude.
It began at approximately 9 a.m. in the city of Nottinghamshire when Gavin left his home. As he walked down the sidewalk, those in the area reported him acting strangely, muttering to himself that he was Jesus and that he was invincible. Without warning, he then turned his attention to a random home, which he forcefully entered, stole a man's car keys, and took his vehicle, taking off with no apparent destination.
Damn, he playing GTA.
Inside the car, the owner just so happened to have 2 cameras, one being a standard dash cam and the other facing inside the vehicle, giving us a look at Gavin and his apparent mental state.
Look at those eyes.
Jesus Christ, I'll shut you out with the eyesight I've got. Hey, don't need this. Come on, let's go, bro. So, get rid of all that crap hairs. Let's go. Look at
his eyebrow
Just
bones.
At a glance, it's obvious that Gavin is completely unhinged. For some reason, he was utterly filled with rage, ripping off the rearview mirror and yelling obscenities and incomprehensible threats at no one in particular.
I'm enraged. I'm Jesus. I'm descendant of God, and you lock me up. Watch this.
And most concerning of all is the speed in which he's traveling, as he starts driving faster and faster, swerving in and out of cars as he passes through busy residential areas, as he reaches speeds that have been estimated to be anywhere from 85 miles an hour to well over 120.
Watch this now! I'm getting stronger and stronger by the second!
But somehow, despite countless close calls, every time he avoids collision, at least for the time being.
This is wild.
In an instant, Gavin smashes the vehicle into a brick home at full speed.
Damn!
With the impact being devastating. And yet somehow, through the destruction, Gavin was not only still alive, but completely unharmed. And
it's because, look, I'm gonna say this too, and I've been waiting to say this, motherfucker. I noticed that he put his seatbelt on while he was like lashing out. And it's crazy because I think I know why he put his seatbelt on, because that motherfucker was beeping. And he was probably just like, nah, I gotta put this shit on, because like it reminded him, I guess. And I was gonna note that like, that's why the beeping seatbelt shit is super important, because even though this nigga was out of his mind, he still put his seatbelt on. Dude, I'm assuming like it was due to the seatbelt noise. That's crazy. That's why the seatbelt beeping, that shit is next level, because nobody wants to hear that.
But I thought
shit.
like newer cars don't have that.
Nah, his shit was beeping. You didn't hear it?
No.
Where's it at? Let's see. Oh.
Ripping off the rearview mirror and yelling obscenities and incomprehensible threats at no one in particular.
I'm enraged. I'm Jesus. I'm descendant.
Oh, it is beeping.
Yeah, you see it? You hear it?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, yeah, that shit is hella.
And then he did start putting it on.
Yeah, see that beeping shit is important. Like that shit, I'm glad that they made that. But it's some people that I know that I don't know for what reason, but they really don't want to wear their seatbelt. So to prevent the beeping noises, they'll literally plug in their own seatbelt. Like they'll put their seatbelt in, buckle it, and then like sit down.
Bro, it was never that serious.
Bro, but I know multiple people who do that, which is insane, bro. I don't know how you really don't want to wear a seatbelt that bad.
Yeah, I don't allow people to get in my car if they're not going to wear their seatbelt.
Yeah, that is wild as hell.
Because I'm not finna be responsible for your death.
Hell yeah, bro.
But completely unharmed, and also completely unfazed. He pulled himself from the wreckage and immediately turned his attention to a woman driving nearby, and within moments he had forced his way into the vehicle and was behind the wheel once again, continuing this deranged driving spree until once again he crashed. And much like the initial collision, he survived, walking away unscathed before turning his attention to another random home.
He did it again!
In pursuit of stealing his third vehicle, he grabbed a nearby concrete slab and began to smash through the home's doors, bloodying his hand in the process, before eventually making entry. Inside were a mother and two children, one of which was 5 years old, and the other wasn't even a year. Gavin approached the terrified family, yelling and demanding that the mother give up her car keys, telling her that he was Jesus and that, because I am Jesus, I will kill you if you don't give me the keys. Without hesitation, she did as he said. Gavin then went to each member of the family, and with his injured hand, he drew crosses on their forehead, out of his own blood, before taking off with his third stolen car.
Oh god, that's fucking horrifying.
Thank God he didn't do that.
That is literally fucking horrifying.
Once again, Gavin was driving manically, though this time he was even more reckless, crashing into a brick wall and then a cop car.
Oh my god, that little ass cop car.
On a pedestrian.
No!
While speeding through a neighborhood, Gavin would see a man standing innocently near a bus stop, and for whatever reason, the sight of this man enraged him, causing Gavin to slam on the brakes and reverse the vehicle, stepping on the gas as hard as he could, and crashing directly into him, leaving him lying there with devastating injuries. Gavin quickly exited the vehicle and found the man lying motionless on the ground, prompting him to shout, "I've killed him. I've killed the devil." Minutes later, Gavin would crash yet another car into yet another home.
How was he doing this for so long?
Weren't far
I know. These people's houses, oh my god. That poor person. Why he attacked that fucking bystander for no reason?
This way. This side. Get him out. This side. I'll get him out. Oh no! Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Do not move! Do not move! Get him up! Get him out!
Finally bringing his disturbed driving spree to an end.
That shit went on for so long. The man that
struck was 87-year-old Terry Radford, a retired teacher whose injuries were catastrophic,
not
with
an
the man
old
passing
man.
away soon after. According to his family, Terry was an incredible grandfather,
that's fucking evil,
father, and son.
That is wild.
The footage is genuinely horrifying.
He was losing his
shocking of all is the fact that any of this was even allowed to happen.
Bro, why does religion be making people go crazy?
This was Gavin's very first day out of prison, and based on the behavior he exhibited whilst in prison, he really should have never been released.
Oh God, I'm like, how was he released?
In March of 2019 for charges based around burglary. But just as he was set to be freed, it was discovered that he had submitted an adulterated drug test, which caused his case to be re-examined and resulted in his release being postponed. In response, Gavin lost his mind. Later that month, he assaulted a prison guard before spraying him with an unknown liquid that contained bleach, before proceeding to set his cell on fire and attacking another officer with a piece of wood. Due to his actions, Gavin was placed into an isolated cell, where less than a week later, he started yet another fire, and when an officer entered his cell to put it out, Gavin struck them in the head and pulled out a plastic knife, threatening to slash him, stating that it would be a thrill to kill him. Gavin's stay in prison clearly hadn't rehabilitated him. In fact, it seemed to have made him more violent than ever before, and more mentally disturbed. Though shockingly, despite all of these additional crimes, Collins' release would go on to be approved less than 2 weeks later.
That's crazy.
Gavin being set free on April 18th.
That's
within just 24
insane.
hours, Terry Radford would be brutally killed. Gavin was sentenced to 21 years in prison, and during his trial, it was revealed that no drugs were found in his system.
21?
And instead, this all seemed to be the result of some sort of psychotic episode that just so happened to be captured on camera in one of YouTube's darkest videos.
Wait, I have so many questions. Wait a minute, is that the last one? Okay, listen. I'm gonna say this though. I don't know. Is UK like soft in their prison system? That's what it seems. Because in the US, I think That shit would have not lasted that long. They would have shot that nigga, like, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they
it would have been
shot
over.
him.
It would have been over after this, like, the second car. Like, it would have been over with. But for them to give him 21 years, that means he's gonna be free again one day. And one day he's gonna be free again. What is he? How old did he say he was? Like, he's like probably like maybe 40, 30. Bro, 21 years, he's gonna
I don't know. That shit makes me uncomfortable to think about.
He looked insane. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And that nigga set the cell on fire and threatened to stab a guard, and he got released 2 days later.
2 weeks.
2 weeks later. UK, get your shit together. I don't know. That was super preventable.
Y'all got that person killed at that point.
Yeah, he shouldn't even been.
He tried to kill the guards and kept lighting shit on fire, and you guys thought, oh, this is perfect behavior to release him.
No, deadass.
The fuck? That should be more charges, if anything.
Or at least remove him. At least put him into like a fucking asylum or something. I don't know.
Or a mental health facility, some shit.
Like, come on.
That's ridiculous to release him. Like, what was the point of his jail sentence? Because that shit did not make...
He set a cell on fire. I think if you do that, like, that adds years.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, in the US, it fucking would. The
yeah,
fuck?
That's crazy.
You look at a police wrong and you staying in there longer.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. Fuck, this is a crazy. The craziest one was what is it called? Elaine. That Elaine one was insane. Those little kids deserve better than that. That was bullshit.
I know, that one made me sad because
that was wild as hell.
They look so innocent. They were so innocent babies.
Fuck, dude. No, you look. What you said though.
I hate when people hurt babies though. That's like.
You said
just the most evil you can be.
You said why? You said why is it always religion driving them to do these things?
Well, it's not specifically religion. It's like a mix between like
them losing their mind,
religion, and them losing their mind.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Mental health.
Yeah, so I feel like when they lose their mind, their beliefs get like outrageous.
But it's like a lot of people going through like schizophrenia or psychosis. Like a common theme in that is religion for some reason. It's really odd, but like.
Was your mom like religious?
It's not religious. It's just religion. It's just like the common theme.
Oh, well, did she do that stuff like religion? Oh, damn. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And she, damn.
Like she would say like, oh, like, what is something she would say? She'll say, I'm God, or I'm the queen of the world, or she would say stuff about Noah from Noah's Ark.
Damn,
she would
really?
say stuff about like Egypt and basically religion is just religion and Egypt and the government are like the top three psychosis, schizophrenia themes, and I don't know what it is about those three things. If it's just a glitch in the world or whatever.
She be on this stuff though sometimes.
It's crazy.
Sometimes she be on this stuff. Like she is a god. We all gods, but I know like how like that.
But it's like
that's like a different.
Yeah, it's like you still gotta have sanity with whatever you believe.
No, that's crazy.
You can believe something, but there gotta be a line where you draw like, okay, this is belief, this is reality.
Yeah.
Like you can't just merge the two.
Hell no, you gonna be like him. You like that nigga.
Yeah.
Hell no, this was crazy. This is a good shit, Nick, bro. Keep these videos going. This is crazy. But I hope you guys enjoyed.
That was insane.
Yeah, that was insane, huh? But look, I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. We'll be reacting to more stuff like this and scary stuff because they really like when we react to stuff like this and scary stuff. That's their favorite.
More scary stuff, okay?
Yeah, we got y'all. Of course, we got y'all. We got a scary game dropping, so it's not scary, but it's a good game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. We'll catch you on the next video.